All right, so guys, let's begin. Now, the next thing what we are going to do is we'll continue our discussion with a methods concept. Fine. So, last class we saw debugging, everyone, correct? Now, debugging gave us the clarity about the flow of program. I hope you all started analyzing the video, but still you have not started with debugging. Okay, I'll be teaching you debugging once we install the IDE. Right now, just understand debugging in the class. Later on, we will install IDE. I'll teach you all the shortcuts there. Okay, so now we'll continue further with methods and we will learn more clearly about how the method arguments can be developed. So let's go to this IDE, and here I'm going to create one Java project, which all I will teach you later. App underscore Java underscore 1. Click on finish, and I'm going to create here one class which is called as A. Now let us write here main method. Okay. Now the next thing, I'm going to create here a method public void and test. Now what I'll do is inside this method I'll create something called as method arguments. Okay, you all did the assignment. Data types, typecasting done, unary operators done. So you now know data types. Everyone knows data types now, correct? Okay, good. So now I'm going to use here int x. Fine. And then let us simply print the value of x. Let's call this particular method. I'm creating object because it is non-static method. A1.test. Let's apply the value 100. Now let me put a breakpoint here. Okay. Let us put a breakpoint here. And now you click on the debug icon or right click run as debug. Now we'll put a breakpoint here. Okay. I'll right click, and then what I'll do is I will debug this application. Now everybody keep observing, switch to debug mode. Now what is going to happen? The program will stop at line number 5. Okay, you see that line number 6. Now this windows here and there, it will change. I can change the position of that. Don't worry about that one. Okay, but this is called as a debug window. Fine, this is called as what? A debug window. We are at line 6. Now from line 6, how do I go to line 9? Can you please tell me? Huh? Yes, very good. You will use step into. Now when we did this, you see that what got created here? And what is the value going to x? So what has happened? This value 100 is going to x. However, this variable x is a local variable. Got it? So from line 6, when you're calling line 9, 100 is getting copied to x, and now we are at line 10. Now when I step over, what is it printing line 10? 100. Closing bracket, where will you go? Closing bracket, where will you go? You will go to line number 6 and stop at 7. Now 7 is line number of what? Closing bracket of main. Closing bracket of what? Main. And the program execution stops here. Did you understand this now? Now these variables that I'm creating here can be accessed only within method, point number 1. And if you're creating a variable here, supplying value becomes mandatory. Otherwise, what do you see? Error. Very good. Now let us write here comma string y comma double, let's make it float f. Better shift this side. We'll not waste the time. There's some problem. Just shift this side. So now see here, we have int x, string y, float f. How many arguments are there here? How many arguments are there here? 3 arguments. So first one, I'm going to write here what? I'm going to write here 10. Second, string value, Mike. The third one, I will store a decimal value f. Let's put a breakpoint here. Right click, debug as Java application. Which line number it is stopping at? Now from there, when I do a step into, just go to your variable section. How many variables got created? You see that? Automatically all 3 values that I'm supplying is getting stored in it. The number of values, number of arguments should match. The type of value and the data type of variable should match. Okay. Now see, what am I printing? Only x. In order to print all the values, what will I do? I'll have to print it one by one. So let's write here, we'll print y, and then let us print the value which is f. Just run the whole program at once. Observe the output. Observe the output. Okay. What is the output here? Did you all get this program? Did you all understand this program? Yes, we'll definitely learn methods in a more detailed manner when we proceed further. But just a recap, we discussed about what is void keyword in method, which cannot return a value. Then we discussed about return keyword versus return value. Correct? We discussed about the differences. Yes or no? Then after, we people talked about, okay, static methods we did not talk, non-static methods we created so far. Then we saw the flow of that method using debugging, which is very important. How a method executes, how the method control goes back, how it is executing line by line. We saw debugging control. This is what we have explored so far in depth manner. Now let's take few examples on static methods, which we have not done it so far. Few examples we'll take on that, then we are good to go with the next concept. Is this clear? Now see here. Firstly, in order to make this method static, you will apply here a static keyword. And then let's try to print here 100. Okay. Now, in order to call this method, I'll be using here test. And then let's print here 500. Let me put a breakpoint here. Okay. And then debug this particular application as Java application. Are you understanding now? At which line number we are? 5. Now from line 5, if I have to go to method at line 9, how will you go? Step into. Are you understanding now? So now, if you look at the debug window, I'll take the debug window on this side. Okay. Just by dragging and dropping. From which line have I called the test method? From line 5, I've called the test method. I'm at line 10. Now when I step over, I'm at closing bracket of test method. Line 11. So line 11 will go back to which line? It has to go back to 5. Line 11 will go back to, so it will go back to line number 5 and stops at, see, does that happen? Can you see the line number here? Everyone? Okay, visible, no? Yes. Slightly blur projector. Okay. Okay now? So now visible everyone, line number 6. Now after line 6, which line will run? 7. And closing bracket of main program stops. So this is just like the methods flow that we saw earlier. But now we'll go to our notes and one by one we will start exploring this now. So look at here now, methods in Java. Let's scroll down and we are going to now look at importantly static methods. Fine. So observe here now, I'm calling the first static method, it'll print 100. Are you able to analyze the flow of the program? Yes, sure. All of you? Okay. So example 2. Can you please tell me what's happening in example 2? Can you analyze the flow by yourself? Complete flow, analyze, then we will debug this. Okay? Able to analyze? Let's not use debugging right now. Let's do a manual way of analyzing the flow. Okay? Everybody got this? Very good. So let's now debug this and see. Right click and copy. You go back here, paste this, and now I'll put here a breakpoint. I'll put here a breakpoint, right click, debug as Java application. Is this clear? Now, what will happen from line 5? Tell me. So now line number 5. Is this clear, everyone? From line 5, we are going to go to which line? Huh? Very good. We'll go to 8 and stop at 9. Oh, we did not stop because program is not saved. So I'll have to save and rerun. Okay. So now again I'll debug because the program was not saved. Now see, I'll go to line 8 and stops at 9. What is line 9 doing? Returning back to this line and storing in X what? 100. So you can click on the variable section. As of now, there is no variable X. You return back. So this statement is storing 100 into it. But still the variable is not created. When I move from 5 to 6, when you pass that line, when you move ahead of that line will completely execute. So when I move ahead, observe, what is the variable now created? Now line 6 will print what? 100. Closing bracket of main. Stop the program. So should we really by heart the programs? No, right? If you know debugging, we can analyze the flow of the code. But there are a lot of things here, like where to put the breakpoint, how to find out where to stop and execute the program line by line. This will take time. For now, we know its main method. But in projects, now there will be thousands of lines of code. Which line you have to put a breakpoint? That is the first analysis we have to start with, which cannot happen now. For now, we are always putting the breakpoint in main method because we know program starts with main method. But in advanced programming, main method will not be there. Are you understanding? So all that we will be having a look at it one by one later. Now let's continue further. Now this particular program, now first you will analyze, then I will debug. First you will analyze, then I will debug. Observe. No, analyze line by line. I'm not just interested in the output. See, I'm interested in how the program executes line by line. And if you're able to do that, please mention that in the chat box. If you're able to do that, mention in the chat box, yes. Able to understand? Okay, then answer now. When I start in the debug mode, when I start the application in debug mode, I'll stop at line 5 because there's a breakpoint. From line 5, which line will it go to? 8 and stops at 9. So what is the value present in A and B? So what are you adding here? 100 plus. Now when you click on return, which line will it go to? 5. And what is stored in X? But see, still X is not created. When it is created, when you pass that line, which means you move ahead of that line. Now when I go to 6, what got created? What is the value next? So this line 6 will print what? Is it printing 300? See. Okay. Closing bracket of main. What's happening? Program stops. I hope this part is clear for all of you. Yeah. Okay. So let us move ahead further. The next thing, Can you now analyze this code? It's a static method again. Just a little bit simple examples. Okay, I'm sure now you will be all very thorough and you will not have trouble analyzing this. I'm sure about it. Analyze the flow. Line 5 to line 9, 10. Line 11 back to 5 and then 6. 6 to 9, 9 to 10. 11 back to 6 and then stops at 7. 7 to 9 stops at 10. 11 back to 7 stops at 8. Make sense? Yes or no? Able to understand? Okay, let's debug and see here. Observe line 5. Line 5 to line 10. Now, line 11. So this has already printed 100. I'll keep the console here so that you can see that as well. Is this clear? Now see, it printed 100, line 11. From 5, I called 11. 5 is this. So 11 will go back to 5 and stop at 6. Second, again step into. So from 6 called 9, stops at 10. So it again prints 100. Line 11 will go back to 6 and stop at. Very good. Now, line 7 will go to 9, stop at 10. Closing bracket. So that printed 100 three times. Closing bracket, go to 7, stop at 8. Closing bracket of main, stop the program. Is this clear? Is this clear, guys, everyone? Everybody? Okay. So let us proceed further. Now data types is already been covered, but we have a small topic to cover here, which is the feature that was developed okay, in Java version 10 called as var type. So whatever lectures you saw earlier, those all data types, even today it exists. But apart from that, Java 10, they came up with a new feature called as a var type. What is it called as? A var type. So see here, this was introduced in Java version 10. It gives dynamic data type concept. Now what do you mean by that? Let's see this here. Now, whenever you're creating a variable as int, you can store only integer value in it. Do you agree with that? If I store decimal value, what will it give? Error. But in Java version 10, which means in the older version of Java, this will not work. You have to ensure the Java version has to be 10 and above. Which is the latest version of Java we have today? Huh? See here, Java versions. Just go to Wikipedia. Okay, we'll give it as history. So let this open up the Wikipedia page. Okay, just for knowledge. The first version of Java was introduced in 96. Now Java 10 was introduced in 2018. Now every 6 months once, new version of Java is being released. Every 6 months once. Okay, you can check this out. September, March. Again September, March. September, March. So 25. 16th September 2025. Java 25 version was launched. Okay, and now 26th version of Java will be launched in. So whatever feature you're learning now, it will work from Java 10 to 25. Okay, which one? Var type. So now let's go back here. Observe, let's go back here. So what I'm going to do now, I'll change the type to var. What's happening? When you make the variable of the type var, you can store any kind of value in it. Let's make it as x1. Any error? No. Let's make it x2 and let me store a decimal value. Any error? No. Var x3. Let me store a string value. Any error? No. Var x4 and let me store a character value. Any error? No. Let's create a var type x5. Let me store a boolean value. This is all we studied in our assignment videos. Yes or no? And x6, I'll store object's address. Still there is no error. Can you see that? Everyone? Yeah? So I'll just take the console here on this side. Okay? Now I will print all of these values. X1. Then I'm going to print here X2. Then I'm going to print here X3. Then I'm going to print here X4. And then we'll print 5 and 6. So what do you understand by this? We understand that a var type variable can store any kind of value in it. Okay, this is the advantage of var. Introduced in Java version 10, and any kind of value can be stored inside the variable of the type var. This is the advantage. But the disadvantage is whenever you create a variable of the type var, ensure that it is not a non-static variable. Do you see an error? A var type variable cannot be non-static. A var type variable cannot be static. Cannot be what? Static. Okay? Static, non-static variables cannot have this data type var. You see there is an error at line 4 and 5 because they are non-static and static. Restriction. Number 1. It can only be local variable. Create inside a method. See, no error at this line. A var type cannot be used for method return type. Cannot be used for method return type. You see that? Still there is an error. Is there an error? A var type cannot be a method argument. Is there still an error? See where all the error can you see? Non-static, error, static, error, return type of method cannot be var, argument cannot be var, local variable can be var. Did you understand this point? Everyone, please read this point loudly. Okay, it's a dynamic data type, meaning what value you are storing internally, that will become data type of x1. Is this clear? If I'm storing int, this will dynamically become integer variable. Okay, this example we have taken it. Yes. Now look at the limitations here. Make sense? Able to understand? Now, okay, so you see the errors here. There's an error here, 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 and here. Okay, this is the only statement that is correct. Okay, everyone, did you understand this part? Please tell me. Yes? No confusion so far? Okay. Now let us move one step ahead. And now we are going to look at, there is one more concept in your method, okay, wherein, observe here, if I'm supplying the value to this method, let's say this is void, and this method I'm writing int x. So if I'm supplying some value to it, how many values can I supply? Only one value. So create an object because it is non-static. What if I supply multiple values? Then you will create 3 variables. But instead, I will just write here dot, dot, and dot. Is error gone? Now what will happen when you put a debug point here? Okay, let's put a debug point here. Right click, debug as. You just see what is going to happen. Let's save this. Hold on. Okay. Now let's debug this particular application. Now what I'm interested in is the variables section. Are the variables created? No, just A1 is created because of object creation at line 6. Now when I go to 6 to 7, it will stop at 11. Reason? That's the only statement. Okay, I did step over. I should have done step into. Okay, so I'm at this line, step into. Now you go to the variable sections. How many variables are created? No. That variable has some index numbers, which I'll discuss about that further, which means this variable X is holding how many values? 3 values. Are these the 3 values I supplied to this? Okay, let's do one thing now. Let's do one thing. I will supply one more value now. Fine. I'll supply one more value. Let us right click and do a debug as. Observe carefully. Debug as. Now observe carefully. I'll go here to this variable section. Now step into. How many values are present in X now? So X of 0 is what? X of 1 is what? So like this X of 2 is what? So now if I want to print this value, I got it one thing, that it is storing the values like this, X of 0. Yes or no? So this concept is called as arrays, which we will see later. But for now, just understand this way. X of 1 will hold which value? 20. X of 2, 30. And X of 4. No. X of 3. Is this clear, everyone? Everybody got this part? Run and see. Right? Everyone clear with this part? Yes? Any doubts, questions? Do you have it here? No doubts? Online students, are you all getting this, guys? Please tell me. Everyone able to follow me? Yeah? No, it will not print simply X because X is not holding one value. X has multiple value, and every value to print you have to give this index number. It was only one value, then I would use X. But there are multiple values which we saw during debugging here. Correct? If you just looked at your variable section in debugging, you see that it is multiple values that is getting stored in it. See? So that is the syntax here. If you're using that syntax only, then multiple values will go to X. If you don't use that, then variable X can hold only one value. If you want multiple values, then we use dot dot dot. Is this clear? So if you don't use this, multiple values will not go to X. Okay? So dot 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 here is actually an alternative way of creating arrays. I'm not using that term for now. We'll discuss about that later. Everybody got this point? Yes? Any questions, queries? So if you now observe here, we have taken that example in this section. Okay, the first example, a1.test, I'm supplying multiple values that will be stored in X. X of 0 will hold 1 and that goes on. Is this clear? The second example that you see here, I want to supply a string value with sequence of similar values. This is sequence of similar values. Do you agree with that? So now whenever you supply the value like this, you cannot supply sequence of similar value and then string. This will give you this will give you an error. Is there an error? Whenever you're using a dot 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 concept, always ensure the individual value, okay, the single value is supplied first and then you take the sequence of value. Are you understanding, everyone? Okay, this is what the way it should be. Is the error gone? So this is individual value I'm supplying and the sequence of values should be supplied only at the end. So if I want to print Mike, which variable will I use? Y. Very good. Are you able to slowly understand now the program structure, how programs are running? Not 100%, but yes, some understanding you've started developing it. Okay. So let's just go to perspective and let's select console. You see the output here? Okay. Everybody got this part? नहीं काम करेगा. आपको पहले माइक का ही वैल्यू लेना है, then you have to take sequence of value. That is a rule. Okay, that's the rule here. So if you interchange that will not work. Dot 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 argument has to be last always. It has to be a last argument in your method. Understand that way. So your call, do you want to practice this much? No, then you have to use that value. Okay, you want to use float here now. 10.3 F, correct? So now we are giving here float. Okay, Z. See, the individual single values are given first, and this has to be always the last argument. Are you understanding? Did you understand? See, whenever you're using a dot 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 argument, keep that as a last argument in your method. Okay? And all the single values that you're supplying, keep it in the beginning. If you want to use the syntax. Why three dots? That's the syntax in Java. See, we cannot comment on that. Like if you ask me in English, why end of line is full stop? So that's a rule. Somebody basically said you have to follow this, you have to follow it. So who has done this in Java? He says this is what you need to do it. So it says dots means multiple values. Are you yes, you can give multiple string values. Not only this, if it is multiple string value, how many string values are there now? Add up. So what I'll do now? I'll just type here. Is the error gone? Observe. Yes or no? So y of 0 will be Mike and y of 1 will be Adam. It is applicable for any data type. Okay? Did you understand, students? Should we stop here? Should we continue? Because the next concept is constructors. It's a new concept. Should we take it freshly? Or practice this much? You have to prepare notes. We are already at line number. Technically, line number. This much notes has to be there in your book. 846 lines. Handwritten notes. You're preparing, no? All of you, are you preparing handwritten notes? So these handwritten notes has to be there in your book. Are you understanding, guys? Everyone? Tomorrow, we are going at good speed. Don't worry. We are still in class 6 of Java. Okay? Class 6 of Java already started with constructors concept. So if you observe, the compromising with speed is not happening because of debugging. Understanding is becoming quick. That's the only reason. Since we have started using debugging from, I think, very first class of Java or second class of Java, because of debugging, what's happening is people are not putting pressure on their mind to remember the program. They know that line by line we can debug and understand the program. Okay? Sir, why put breakpoint on line number 7? Where here? You put it anywhere. For now, there is no significance. Wherever you want to stop your program and you want to analyze line by line, you put there. Right now, you can put anywhere, but later, you cannot do like this. Okay? Later, you'll have to search that particular method where there is a bug and then put a breakpoint in that method. Imagine there are hundreds of methods in your project. Some method there is a bug. First you have to identify which is that method, then put a breakpoint and then do a debugging and analyze, which we will see in advanced classes. You cannot understand that now. For now, just understand, simply put the breakpoint, the very first line of main method, and use the controls that we have seen. Sir, how we can return values for multiple arguments? You cannot return value. Okay, you mean to say this one? We'll cover that during arrays concept. But multiple arguments you cannot. You cannot write more than one return keyword continuously. Then for that some logic building can be done. But we'll see that step by step further. Yes, if you want to stop here, see if I put at line 6, what will happen? It stops at line 6. So now from here you will go slow by slow, line by line. It's up to you from where you want to do it. For now I'm telling. But later it is not like this. Later, the first thing that starts is identifying the Java code where to put breakpoint. After putting breakpoint, executing the program line by line. Then identifying the line which has a problem. Once you identify the line number where the problem is, fix the problem. This is what the steps we should take. Got it? Did you understand? For example, I have some front end code. Let's assume I have some front end code. Okay, some front end code. Now, this front end code is calling what in the backend? First is you have to identify that, locate that, put a breakpoint. Let's not take that now. Unnecessarily, it will not be helpful for you. We'll take it at the right time. Okay? Once you're more matured with the programming, we'll slowly proceed with that. Okay then, so how we are identifying that? So now you cannot understand that. Okay? Later, when we start working with web services, API development, web development, everywhere I will use debugging. Without debugging, we will not learn at all. Full thorough classes are with debugging till the end. Okay? Fine, then I'll wind up my today's classes. Stack heap memory. Yes, yes, yes. I'll talk about that. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right? I'll definitely talk about that. Let me end my today's class here. Next class, again a very interesting concept, but trust me, now that you know how to analyze debugging tool, you will just enjoy all the further classes without putting much efforts and stressing yourself. Okay, where you need to remember the program. So everything now we can understand with debugging concept slowly, and further we will use debugging in IntelliJ, this IDE, which is more actually excellent IDE, and the debugging controls are same, but it has more visualization. Okay, it has more visualization. Okay, so which we will see that, and some extra features like testing your data structures, debugging your data structures with Stream API. We can do that very easily here. Okay, GitHub link is already there, no Mintu, in my WhatsApp group. You're not there in my WhatsApp group. Bye. Please join the WhatsApp group. Yes, practice things are how to practice this. Right now, just practice the notes that you have it. Got it? Just specialize debugging manually for now. Since it's the 6th class, take a pen, paper, manually debug. Don't touch any IDE. That will become a shortcut way of learning. Thursday, we will install IDE. Today is what, Monday. Thursday, we'll install IDE starting with Eclipse, and then you can start with debugging in that. One who has not installed it. Okay? And slowly from there further, you will keep using debugging. But handwritten notes are mandatory. Okay? So you have to join the WhatsApp group. See, 9632629033. Call this number or WhatsApp them. Tell them you want to join this new group. They'll make you join.